Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen. For all of you that are new to my channel, I am Rhonda and this is Acres of Clay Kitchen. In my videos you can find cooking, baking, canning, dehydrating, all kinds of food preservation. And if this is something that interests you, please consider subscribing and hit that little bell and that will notify you every time I put up a new video. Also consider giving this video a thumbs up. That way YouTube will make my videos more accessible so more people can find me. And I appreciate that. In today's video, I'm going to be canning leftovers. Let me explain. So over here I have some ham. I cooked up a ham the other day and we had some leftovers. I've used some of it, but I also had some leftover and I wanted to can some up just to have it in the pantry. I don't know how many pints there's actually going to be. Probably 2 or 3 pints of ham. Not very much. I also cooked up, a couple days ago, I cooked up some turkey and I have this much left over and I want to can this also. And then yesterday I went to my canned good pantry where I keep all my preserved foods and I found that I didn't have any black beans. And I needed black beans for a recipe that I'm making, which is in the slow cooker right now. It is a soup. It's like a chicken chili type soup, chicken tortilla soup. Anyways, I didn't have any black beans, so I had to compromise and use pinto beans. But I thought, since I'm going to be canning this, and I know this isn't going to be a full canner, I'm also going to can some black beans because the timing of all of these three are the exact same. Anytime you're working with a meat, whether it is a cooked meat or a raw meat, or anytime you're canning a dry bean, all of the canning processing time is the exact same. So today I'm going to be canning in pint-sized jars, and those need to be processed for 75 minutes under 10 pounds of pressure. If you're going to can quart-sized jars, then it has to be 90 minutes. But today I'm doing pints, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. For the turkey, I'm going to be actually making a broth to put over them. I have a can of, this is my last can of turkey broth, way back from 2016, and a lot of times I get questions about how long are your canned goods good for, and that question I get asked a lot, and I just tell them as long as this seal is not rusty and it's not bulging and it's not loose and everything inside looks good, then what is inside is going to be just fine. So this I canned in 2016. It's my last turkey broth that I canned. And I just actually, when I cooked up this turkey, I made some more to replenish my stock. But this will be my last jar, and it's lasted 4 years. So this is just as good because I used one of these the other day in another recipe, and it tasted great. So it's kind of up to you. You use your judgment on how long you want your canned goods to last. But for me, I'm not afraid to use 4-year-old turkey broth. Okay. If you don't have your own broth, then go ahead and use store-bought broth also. So it's not a big deal. All right, so I have my jars all ready. They're over here behind me. They're washed. They don't need to be sanitized due to the length of time that I'm pressure canning them. So I just washed them with warm water, and now they are just waiting for me to fill them. Okay, I'm gonna start with my turkey. So we're just gonna fill the jars up to about 1 inch headspace. Again, this is fully cooked, so you just press it down in there as much as you want, or as much as you can. I press it down just a little bit, and then it looks like this. So I'm actually going to fill up all my jars, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what I do after this. So I ended up with 3 pints of ham and 3 pints of turkey, and now I'm going to fill 4 more with my black beans. Now let me explain this a little bit to you. So this is 1 pound of black beans, and I did not soak these black beans. A lot of the times what I like to do is soak them and to remove the phytic acid that's on the outside of them. But since I kind of did this last minute, I didn't have time to soak them. Now I like to use black beans in salsas and salads and soups and things. And I find that when I soak them, they're a very softer bean and they don't hold up quite as well. But if you do the no soak and you put them right directly into your jars, they hold up a whole lot better in your dishes. So I did not soak these this time. So what you do is you take a half a cup per pint. That's all there is. A half a cup of dry beans per pint. I've always been under the understanding that 1 pound of black beans will do 4 pints. But I think I'm going to get 5 pints out of this bag. And then I'm just going to kind of divvy them up, the leftovers. You have to remember that these beans are going to swell as they cook. So you do not want to overfill. I know that a half a cup does not look like very much, but remember that once you add the liquid to it, it is going to swell. So I have 5 pints of black beans. And by the way, I did rinse them. I washed them and sorted them out to make sure there wasn't any dirt or stones in them. So a little FYI, I bought the bag of black beans for, let's see, I have the bag here, for 79 cents. And I'm filling up 5 pint-sized jars. So that equals, what is that? It's like a little bit over 15 cents per jar to can your own beans. So beans are super economical to can. I didn't really want to get into it on this video. I can do a whole separate video devoted to canning beans itself because I'm going to need to do more than just 5 pints. Eventually I'll have to do more, but today I'll do all of these. So I'm not going to add any salt to any of this. I like to season my meats and my beans when I go to use them. So no salt. I'm just going to be covering these with water, and I'm just going to use tap water. It can be room temperature. The turkey I am going to fill up with this. I'm not even going to heat this up. So I'm going to divide this between the 3 pint-sized jars, and then the ham I'm also going to fill with water, and I'm not going to add any salt to this or broth because I feel like, I'm not sure if there's salt in my broth, but most likely there's some salt. And ham, when you can it, it's super salty anyway, so you want to kind of shy away from adding salt to ham. So I have all of these filled up with warm water, not hot, but it's warm, and it's not cold because my canner, which is on the stove right now, has water in it, and it's warm water. I have the burner on low just to keep the water warm. I'm gonna fill the turkey with this bone broth, and if I need any extra, then I'll just add some water to it. So I'm just gonna kind of divide it up between all 3 of these. And that almost fills each one exactly. Now I'm gonna wipe the rims down with a paper towel that's already dampened. And you just want to check again to make sure there's no nicks or cracks in your in the red chair. Usually I would be using the ball canning lids. These are my favorite. You know, the one piece, they're disposable, one-time use. But since all of 2020 pretty much it's been difficult to find lids. And so I went online and ordered myself what's called Tattler lids, and these are reusable lids. They are plastic, and they come with a seal, 2-piece. And so I bought a bunch of these, and this is actually my first time going to be using these. So what you do is you put the seal on the Tattler lid like this, and then put it on your jar, and then just use the ring like you would your normal ball lid. And the only thing is you just want to snug it on. You don't want it tight. You just want it just snug a little bit. That way it vents during the processing time. But then when you take them out of the canner, you immediately want to tighten them down, and that will ensure that it seals properly. So that's a little bit different. I'm usually not used to having to take them out of the canner and then make sure it's tight. I usually don't do that, but I will have to remember to do that. So I have my lids and my rings scalding on the stove because they need to be hot. So I'm going to bring all of this over to the stove and I'll bring you along with me. So I have the lids and the seals in this hot water. And then in my canner I have 2 quarts of water, and I have that just on low so it stays warm. Since I already wiped the rims out of all of these, they're ready for the lids. So all you do again is just take the seal and plop it on. You want to make sure you center it, hold that down, and just like that. I guess I'm used to kind of putting it kind of tight, but you definitely don't want to put it too tight. That's from what I've been reading anyway. So just fingertip tight, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick them in my canner. And I probably wouldn't recommend using your fingers to get the hot lids out. I'll bring you back once I have all of these in here, and then I'll explain what we do next. Okay, so I have 11 pints in here, and 11 pints doesn't fit on the bottom of this, so I had to put in my rack and put 4 on the top. Now we can just put the lid on top, line the arrows up, or however yours does it. Just line it up like that. And then I kind of kitty corner tighten it down. That way it tightens more evenly and you don't have kind of like a cockeyed lid. And now we wait until this starts steaming. This is the vent pipe, and then we want this to be venting steam out of it, like just rolling out of it. And once we start seeing that, then we set our timer for 10 minutes. And I will bring you back and show you what that looks like when that starts venting. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but this is venting. Hear that? So I've had this venting for 10 minutes. Well, it's almost been 10 minutes. And once my timer goes off, I'm going to add my weight. And my weight has different dials on it, and I need it at 10 pounds. There, my timer's up. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put that on it. Now, mine has a gauge. Not all of them have gauges, but mine's, well, it's at about 5 pounds right now, and it needs to get up to 10 pounds. Once it hits this 10 pound mark, this is going to start jiggling. Once that starts jiggling, then I'm going to set my timer again for 75 minutes for my pints. If you're doing quarts, then it's going to be 90 minutes. So I'll bring you back. This takes about 3.5 to 4 minutes on my canner to reach the 10 pound mark. Okay, you can see, oh, there it is. That's the first jiggle. So I turn my heat down just a little bit so that it stays at 10 pounds. Right now it's about almost 11. But I'm going to just turn my heat down. So I set my timer for 75 minutes. I will bring you back when we go to take these out. 75 minutes is up. Then I let the dial go to 0. And then after it turned to 0, I was able to take the weight off. Then after I take the weight off, I kind of let it set for probably 5 minutes or so. I undid the lid and then I let it set it a little, just so it was a little bit off. That way the hot jars inside don't siphon so much, because everything in these jars is boiling hot. So you want to slowly cool them off. Otherwise, if you cool them off too fast, they siphon all their juice out, and then you're left with not so much juice. Now this is the turkey. Let me show it. Let me go ahead and tighten that down. I may need a towel for that. That could be hot. Okay. So I just take them out and I guess tighten each one of them is what we're to do. Almost looks like they're already sealed too. Because I don't know if you can tell, but that lid, that is sunk way in. So I don't know. I don't know if they've sealed yet. Now I gotta take this center piece out. And get the rest of these out. Let me show you the ham. Still boiling away. I forgot to show you the beans. This is the beans. So you can see how it filled up that jar. Those beans swelled up quite a bit. So there we have it. We have the turkey here. We have ham and the beans. And here's some more ham. So that's what it looks like. This is what canning your leftovers looks like. Hope you give this a try. If you do, let me know in the comments below what you like to can, what's your favorite thing to can, or what's your favorite leftover to can. Let me know. Alright friends, we'll see you on the next video. Take care.